I made a really dumb mistake, and now Toyota wants to charge me over $600 to fix it. Let's talk about it. Now, you're not gonna believe me, but I'm not the sharpest knife out of the bunch. I know you think I'm super smart, super handsome. I get it, relax. I usually tend to get myself in a little bit of a pickle, and the problem that I've found is I usually can't get myself out. Let me explain what I'm talking about. See, this right here is my 2020 Toyota Tundra 1794 edition. It was my dream truck, and I was so happy to buy it. I purchased this vehicle used, and it had 2 keys. Now, unfortunately, I only have 1. If you've ever lost a key or you purchased a vehicle with only 1 key, you know how much it sucks to only have 1 key. And I'm currently in that boat, and it's not fun. Let me explain to you how I lost it, because it's not one of those things where I left it somewhere and I just can't find it. No, I saw myself lose it and saw myself not be capable of recovering the key. So usually I like to keep my keys with a carabiner. I'll show you. I like to keep my key on a carabiner, and I just, put it onto my belt. See right there, I missed. So I ended up getting to this parking lot, and I parked the Toyota Tundra in a corner spot. Now, I didn't realize that this corner spot was right up against a manhole. I'm pretty sure I know what happened. I didn't clip my carabiner onto my pants, and when I turned to get out of the car, I saw the keys start to leave, so I tried to catch it with my foot, but I just kicked the keys straight into the manhole. I think if I wouldn't have tried to save the keys, I probably would still have 2, but I didn't, and I kicked it right into the manhole. At this point, I was devastated. I could not believe that I had just committed this monstrosity. With that being said, I started to panic and was trying to get that manhole open to see if I could get my key. Lucky me, okay, lucky me, just ran into this thing. This manhole was like 10 to 15 feet deep, and it's hard to explain, but I am scared of going down there, to be honest. It's not that hard to explain, but I knew that these keys were expensive. At the time, I didn't know how expensive. I was willing to go down there. The problem was, this was a weird manhole. There was no real way of getting to the ladder. It's too hard to explain, but trust me, I couldn't get to the ladder. So we called it a day. I gave up. So this next part is the comeback story. This is where I come back against the odds and get a second key for my Toyota Tundra. So I thought. I ended up calling a dealership first thing in the morning, and then the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And I never got an answer. That was the closest dealership to me. They never answered. So thank you for that. Since the dealership closest to me was not answering, I decided to call the next nearest dealership. I actually got them on the phone and was able to talk to the parts department. I started getting a little bit of information on the parts, and I thought this included the programming, but when I told him, hey, how much is programming? He says, no problem at all. Let me transfer you to a service advisor who can get you that quote. Cool beans, let's do it. He transfers me to a service advisor, and it goes straight to voicemail. I know what the parts cost. Let me get a service advisor and let me ask him how much it costs. Spent like 3 days trying to get a service advisor on the phone, and I never did. Finally, I call a dealership about an hour and a half away from me, and I let them know, hey, this is my problem. Can you guys help me, please? They end up quoting me $600. $600 for the key. Now, let me show you something. This key right here is made up of a few different parts. So this key fob itself, $218.80. This key itself, $122.22. And they weren't gonna cut it. So it was just gonna be the naked key. Programming the key was gonna be $250. To program it, $250 for the key fob itself, $218, plus this little key, $122. And when I asked them how much it was to cut the key, they told me they can't because their machine is not working currently. So continuing the comeback story, this is where things get interesting, because I don't know about you, but I don't have $650 to put out for a brand new key right at this moment. So I decide, you know what? I think I can find a cheaper solution. I think I can figure this out at a better price. I get online and I start doing my research. I find a bunch of different retailers. I find a bunch of different keys, and immediately I'm overwhelmed. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I stay strong. I buy 2 different keys, one from Amazon and one from an online retailer. The online retailer charged me the most. I don't want to say how much I paid because I'm embarrassed. Secondly, the Amazon key arrived, and well, I thought it was great. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought it was gonna work. So I paid a local locksmith $150 to program it to this truck. Turns out the key fob does not work. So you may be saying, well, good thing you got your money back. I did not. At this point, I'm halfway into what it would have cost to get a brand new key. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm a little bit sad. I'm hurt and embarrassed. So I get onto Facebook and I start asking people, hey, what can I do to get a brand new key for my Toyota Tundra? Facebook was no help. People who own the Toyota Tundra are rich apparently. And they told me, stop being cheap, bite the bullet, get the OEM key, or go aftermarket. When I let them know that I had already gone aftermarket and it didn't work, they responded, yeah, that tends to happen. If you buy an aftermarket key, maybe it'll go bad in like 2 months, 3 months, but you'd never really know, so go OEM. Now, part 3 to the comeback story. This is where things get better. Usually when I mess something up, I try my best to figure it out, and I usually cannot, until I reach out to someone I know, and then they help me out. Usually it's Jerson or my dad. In this case, neither of them know how to program a key or can get me a key for cheaper, so I went on the interwebs one last time to give one company a shot. I wanted to see how it worked out, and I reached out to them, and I cannot wait for their products to come in. I think they should be here soon, so hopefully, just hopefully, I can get my key back. Don't lose your key, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.